Have you ever thought that the road to becoming divine might not lead up towards the light, but actually down into the dark? Well, today, we are going deep into one of the most intense and honestly misunderstood spiritual systems out there, the Qliphothic path. This is a journey that doesn't promise salvation. No, it promises a complete transformation by embracing the very chaos that creation itself was born from.
And that quote right there, that is the absolute heart of this whole tradition. It completely reframes the serpent in the Garden of Eden, not as some evil tempter, but as a liberator. It's offering a path that says, forget waiting for salvation from some higher power. Instead, it's all about seizing divinity for yourself. This is the very essence of the draconian path. It flips our traditional spiritual goals completely on their head.
All right, so when we say dragon, let's get one thing straight. We are not talking about Smaug or something from a fantasy novel. Nope. We're talking about a primal, mythological force. It's a symbol for chaos, for darkness, for the great, big unknown. And it's an idea that pops up in ancient cultures all over the globe, way before the stories we know today. I mean, think about it. You've got Tiamat in Babylon, the primordial mother whose body literally became the world. Or Apep in Egypt, the chaos serpent forever trying to swallow the sun. These are all just different faces of the same timeless cosmic current. This dragon is supposed to be the raw, untamed energy that existed before everything else. And it's that exact force that followers of this path are trying to wake up inside themselves. So, and this is really the key takeaway here. This isn't about praying to some external dragon god. It's an internal journey. The whole philosophy is based on the idea that we are the dragon's flesh and blood, that this incredible, primal power is already locked away inside of us. The goal isn't just to find a key, it's to become the key and unleash that power from within. Now, to really understand where this all leads, we have to look at this huge split in esoteric thinking. Just picture two roads leading to the same destination, divinity, but they're heading in completely opposite directions. Okay, so on one side, you've got what's called the right-hand path. The goal there is to unite with God, usually by surrendering your ego and dissolving into the divine. But then you have the left-hand path, and that's where the draconian tradition lives. Here, the goal is something called apotheosis, which basically means becoming a god yourself. You do that by making your own will stronger and embracing what others might call the darkness of chaos and being separate. So if you're going to take a journey into pure chaos, you'd probably want some kind of map, right? Well, this tradition has one, and it's a pretty controversial and, frankly, dangerous one. It's known as the Qliphoth, or the Tree of Death. Now get this, in traditional Kabbalah, the Qliphoth are basically seen as the garbage of creation, the empty shells, the realm of demons. But in this system, that idea gets turned completely upside down. Here, they're not shells, they're wombs. They're seen as gateways into the deepest parts of our subconscious, like a parallel universe you're meant to explore, not run away from. And that's the whole point of this map. It gives you a system for finding your way through the chaos. The idea is that the initiate goes down through these different realms or these different states of consciousness one by one. They face and absorb the power of each one before they can go any deeper. It's a structured descent right into the heart of the void. Okay, so how does a person actually start this descent? Well, we can actually look at a real-world example from an esoteric order called Dragon Rouge. It was founded in Sweden back in 1989, and it lays out a very clear step-by-step system for this. The journey kicks off in the sphere of Lilith, which is where the gate to the unknown first cracks open. After that, the path leads to Gamaliel, the astral world of the moon. This is the realm of dreams, where the initiate comes face to face with their own subconscious, their shadow selves, and all of their deepest, darkest desires. And you know, this is a really important point. This kind of magic isn't about standing safely in a circle and bossing some spirit around. Not at all. The goal is to actually merge with these Qliphothic energies, to pull them into your own consciousness and let them completely rewire you from the inside out. But as you can probably guess, a process of transformation this intense, well, it's not all smooth sailing. In fact, the most difficult and dangerous parts of the path are specifically designed to completely break the initiate down.
The sources call this process an alchemical dissolution. And this isn't just some mental exercise, okay? We're talking about the initiate's entire life, their job, their relationships, their whole perception of reality being intentionally shattered. It's a deliberate psychological breakdown, all designed to wipe the slate clean so the self can be rebuilt into something new.
Yeah, this quote from the author of Syneth Mason really paints a picture of just how psychologically brutal it is. This is that dark night of the soul you hear about, where the ego just dissolves for a while. You're forced to confront every single thing you've ever feared or pushed away about yourself.
And let's be really, really clear here. The sources are not shy about the dangers. This is absolutely not a path for everyone. This whole ordeal is described as a trial by fire, and the warnings are severe. We're talking risks of intense depression, psychic disorders, insanity, and even the loss of life for people who just can't handle it. So, for those who actually make it through that disillusion, who pass through the abyss, what's waiting for them at the end of the road? Well, it's the ultimate goal, achieving godhood. The number of completions here is 11. Now, think about the traditional tree of life from Kabbalah. It has 10 divine spheres of creation. The Klipathetic tree has 11, which represents taking a step beyond creation itself, right into the void. The final sphere at the very top, or bottom, depending on how you look at it, is called Thaumiel. It's described as the throne of Lucifer, and it's here that the serpent's promise from the very beginning is finally fulfilled. But unlike the right-hand path, which seeks unity, Thaumiel offers a final choice of ultimate separation, of saving yourself on your own terms.
And this brings us to apotheosis. That's the core belief of the left-hand path. The adept doesn't just dissolve into some divine light. Instead, they become their own source of light. They become a brand new, self-created God, totally independent, totally sovereign, standing alone in the void.
So, all of this leaves us with a pretty profound question to think about, doesn't it? We've just looked at two completely opposite paths. One is about total surrender and unity. The other is about total defiance and separation. If both of these paths claim to lead to the same ultimate goal, to divinity, then what does that really tell us about the nature of consciousness and about the self that we think we know?